This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
We're not off to a good start because we haven't even started shooting yet.
Quit getting satisfied with yourself.
At one point, all 4 squads were on the bay.
So I drug a swinger home from the club.
Some practice sessions,
I can't practice.
you should question whether you should continue the sport.
Not quite so serial, Jeff. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. Jeff, if you had the job of public safety director, would you think of yourself as probably being a safe person?
I mean, I'd hope so.
Do you think someone who was or used to be a public safety director should be safe? I mean, public safety, safe?
Yeah. I mean, it would be an oxymoron if they did something unsafe.
Well, the guy who used to be the Newark, New Jersey public safety director shot himself in the foot last Friday.
Hell yeah.
So, I guess not. His gun discharged under circumstances that are still under investigation.
So he was quote unquote cleaning his gun.
No, he was in his office when his friend, a guy named Mitchell McGuire, who's the chief of detectives for Essex County, for the prosecutor's office in Essex County, he was at his office when the gun just accidentally went off. It just went off.
It just went off. You know those guns, they just go off sometimes.
It just went off. Yeah. Apparently the two are close friends. They're looking into the incident and hope to have a statement by close of business today. So this story was published on the 25th, so last Monday. But by the way, the guy who was present for the accidental shooting by the former Newark public safety director, he was a former U.S. Marine, a former sheriff's officer, and chief of detectives in the prosecutor's office for the last 6 years. So, yeah. And this Ambrose guy that shot himself in the foot used to have the other guy's job. So
That's beautiful.
This is why people laughed when Alec Baldwin said, "I think police officers should be in charge of the firearms at movie sets."
Yeah.
Oh, wait, shit. Now I'm doing it. I'm doing what you do. God damn it.
Yes, it's because it's so bloody easy. Because if anyone ever says I was in the Marine Corps, I was in the military, I was a police officer, any of those like mass churning organizations that deals with firearms, they will be the one who does something unsafe.
My last couple of classes, the guys that were, I was in the Marine Corps, I was in the Army, or they all admitted, I never touched a pistol, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I was like, in my head, I was going, good for you. Good. Way to be self-aware. Good job.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. There are some people who are not over ego about it. So anyway, what a week in USPSA, Jeff. What a week.
It's been just a knockout after knockout after knockout.
Yeah. It's been interesting to say the least. So, God, where do we even start? So there was a board meeting last Monday. And by the way, this is airing after whatever the hell happens with the special meeting on Monday, because I wasn't really going to have time to record and edit before Wednesday unless I was able to record tonight, which was Sunday. So we don't know what's happening. From what I heard on the internet, I think I'm going to be the Area 3 director, I think.
Yay?
Not what I was hoping for, but is what it is. So, yeah, but what was... Okay, the thing that really started off was they voted to not live stream the board meeting last Monday.
Well, let's clarify. They did not vote, or they didn't vote to live stream. So, how many area directors do we have currently?
Currently,
who were at that meeting? Like how many?
6.
Okay, and so you need 6/8, so 3/4.
Well, 7 counting the president.
7 counting the president. So you need 3/4 of them to pass a motion like this. Correct? So only one person didn't need to. If the two people that we know didn't vote for it.
Well, yeah, but there was more than that.
Okay,
That's the thing. When it came to the vote, I think, let me double check. I'm looking at the right thing here. Oh, no, I'm looking at a different. Yeah, March 25th. Jim Boone abstained. Leighton and Russell, of course, voted no. Ken Cobb voted no. And then Ben and Frank voted yes. Yeeman abstained. So, an abstention, honestly, when it comes to this, is a no vote in my eyes.
Yeah. I mean,
you might as well just vote no.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. It's like I'm not getting involved. It's like you are involved.
No, you're involved. Honestly, the abstaining from things, I don't really understand. I'm not. I get it if there's a personal, some sort of conflict of interest. I sort of get it, but when it comes to this, I don't know what there would be. But yeah. So that set off the internet, and all of a sudden, because we couldn't know who voted in favor of it, so everybody and their dog, including Ben and Frank, are getting thrown under the bus. Like,
right,
the whole board is basically the same board it was 6 months ago.
Right, because the revolution must consume
must
itself.
eat itself. Yes.
It is the glorious track of all revolutions at all times for them to begin to eat themselves. In the French Revolution, if you know anything about it, you've heard about the Terror, when Marie Antoinette and the king were beheaded. The people who were beheaded after them were the guys who started the revolution. Because they weren't revolutionary enough. And so we're simply getting to that level where now we must chop off, metaphorically. I'm saying it right now, metaphorically. Yes. We must chop off Ben and Frank's heads for technically what started as an issue that they were not part of, and now now they're getting accused of doing the thing the job tells them to do is the reason they must be beheaded. The vitriol for Ben and Frank died out pretty quickly. It was the initial, like, everybody is a tool or whatever, and it was like, God damn it, people, just fucking stop and think, will you? Just stop and think. Did you really think they voted against it? Right.
No. And there was also like, well, they changed the minutes and blah blah blah, and they changed how that comes out. And well, they did come out on Friday like they used to when they weren't live streamed. When the meeting is live streamed, I don't know what difference it makes about the minutes. Like you saw the sausage be made. I don't need cliff notes of how the sausage was made. That sort of crazy talk made no sense to me. I don't understand.
It felt like they were finding every nit to pick with them that they could possibly find to justify the controversy. Maybe because certain people in this sport thrive off the controversy, and it's either a drug or the reason anyone cares about them.
Yeah. So the meeting was not live streamed. They did nothing with Area 3, although they could have. The story Ben Barry said in his podcast, he recorded a podcast that went out on Wednesday, and he said that without breaking confidentiality, said that the reason that some of the stuff wasn't dealt with was because it was just the order Yeeman put it in. So the idea was, well, we'll have all the stuff first that everybody can be there for, and then all the executive session stuff will be last, so we can just dismiss everybody else who doesn't need to be a part of it. But the meeting took 6 hours, and these meetings are ungodly long, and they didn't get to any of that, important stuff that they were saving for later. So basically they're doing all that, well, when everyone's hearing this 2 days ago, and whether or not anybody knows about anything that happened at that time, I don't know if we will or not. I'm guessing they probably won't have that live streamed. Probably.
Right.
So it is what it is. Yeah.
But and the follow-on controversy that I just found to be the dumbest thing to freak out about was the use of the area director discretionary fund to fund their travel to go to other matches within their area. The controversy over this, which is spelled out for the area directors, like it's in their job tasking.
You are to go to the
go around your area because let's put it like this. Andy, how many average members do you have in Canton, South Dakota?
Like how many people show up to matches?
Yep.
17 average. 17 to 22, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay. Okay, so 20. Do you think that there might be some things that clubs, say like Omaha or maybe Forest Lake or maybe even like Ankeny might, do differently that could, help you or give you a better perspective of like how to be an area director or what issues may be going on in your area?
No, I think I need to go to Minot. Minot's going to tell me what I really need to know.
Yes,
that's where I need to go is Minot, 100%.
And while you're there, make sure to go to Alliance, Nebraska, because all the 7 of there, and they are wonderful people. But the 7 of them, they got their finger on the pulse of the area.
We'll go say hi to Sam. Isn't that where I think Sam's from there?
Yeah,
I'm name dropping a random person nobody knows, but of course that would be useful. I think what people are wound up about though is not that. I don't think it's so much that as it is traveling to any area match or nationals around the country, and that's in addition to the $6,000.
Well, I was seeing vitriol thrown at Ben, who went to the South Carolina, the South Carolina section with his wife. People are like, why? How dare he take his wife with him? There's no evidence that any of her travel expenses were paid for that were not his travel expenses.
She probably mooched on his hotel room.
Right, I would hope so. Like that would. Anyways, we'll just leave that one alone. Yeah. But she is the section coordinator for
North Carolina.
Yeah. They were going there. She, I believe, is either the match director for Area 6 or one of the major staff people for Area 6. They were going to see if they can move the match to South Carolina because that way, the area match might move around the section.
Yeah.
Or the area. Not an unreasonable thing, but I saw people be, how dare he take his wife to a match and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so you complained that the area directors are tone deaf and cut off from the general population. And then when they try to go to the general population, you're like, how dare you go amongst the general population? How dare you spend a dime?
I get where I think it's people taking one thing and taking it too far, not understanding what the thing that is sort of, in my opinion, would be an abuse.
Yes,
Yes. I'm saying this as a non-area director on March 31st, by the way, as I'm recording this. So I think, I don't know, but I think the previous policy where all the area directors can fly all over the country on USPSA's dime to go to all the nationals, and there's lots of nationals to go to, so they get everything paid for to go do that. So basically they can run around the country and have their little get together parties or whatever and like go hang out and shoot the match, and they're I don't think I'm not going, if I'm the area director, I'm not going to a nationals unless I want to shoot the nationals. And even then, I'm not going to put it on USPSA's dime unless I'm required to be there. If there's some sort of thing that requires me to be at a nationals, then yeah. If I'm required to be there, then USPSA can pay for that.
Yeah.
Especially if I wasn't going in the first place.
Right. No, and that makes perfect sense.
But otherwise, I think and here's the thing, that was over and above the $6,000 that they can use pretty much discretionarily. They could use it to put on RO classes. They could use it to. I think they could use it for pretty much damn near anything.
Because
at their discretion.
I saw someone say they used it for like a youth program or something. So yeah, like it's a discretion front, but like the vitriol that was being thrown at Frank and Ben, it was just like, guys, you ask why no quality people want this job, and then when you have two quality people, you're like, how dare you breathe without my permission?
Yeah.
And so now on to the next controversy.
Yeah. Oh God.
Because it's been a busy week.
It's been a busy week. So there was at Rio Salado an IPSC club match apparently, and I only saw a video of one stage that is pretty much straight out of the match book for IPSC Nationals, which is coming up in a few weeks.
Yes.
And it's with a teeter-totter. Like, there's no... This one stage was pretty much verbatim identical to what's going to be in there. Now, it's the host club for the match. Who's doing what? I mean, it's not a good look. It's really not a good look, no matter which way you slice it. On the best case scenario, it's a bad look. On the far end, it's cheating. I think and I say that as someone who is a match director, and our section match this year will have a stage. It's not a section match; it's a Hit Factor Championship, but. Our match will have a stage that was previously shot last year, but I'm not going to set it up and then practice it right before. Like, to the people who shot that one club match, it'll be familiar to them. But to me, like I'm plucking a good stage from a club match I went to, and I'm sticking it in the major. And
that's
not uncommon. By the time it happens, it'll have been almost a year previous. So it's not like, I mean, there's going to be some familiarity, but it won't be identical, you know?
Right. Well, it's also USPSA
even if we tried to make it identical, it wouldn't be identical.
Right. And for this specific controversy, there is a defining difference between an IPSC and a USPSA match. This is
the really big thing. Yeah.
Right. Because IPSC only allows you the 4 minutes of when your squad shows up to walk the stage. So there's no, like, we've all done it. If you've gone to a major match where, hey, there's no squad on this bay, it's the day before, but they're not done shooting. You know what? I'll just hop on this one and kind of walk it a couple times. Or I shoot in the afternoon. There's no morning squad on this one. So here, let me get a couple more walkthroughs before. Like, IPSC is, you show up, you walk to your stage, you get 4 minutes to walk the stage, and you're not even supposed to, like, air gun. You're not supposed, like, they have very strict rules about this. So there's already a problem with just that they have put it on the ground for someone to see in real life. And so, and there's, it does feel like cheating, but like, I'm just going to say, as someone north of the Mason-Dixon line, all you Southerners, this is what we feel like every time you host a major match before the snow thaws. Yeah. Because, like, when you shot production, just a quick change of topic, when you shot production nationals, how many practice sessions did you get before you flew down in, May?
Here's the thing, though. That was a year kind of like this year where the weather was decent. The snow was mostly melted by early, mid-March, and we had a club match at the tail end of March. Because that was our... that was our first year hosting the section. So we had a bunch of people who needed classifications to take the RO class. So we just crossed our fingers that the weather was going to be decent, and it was. So I got a fair amount, but I didn't get a whole season. You know, it's not like I was tuned up like majors. I was before Iowa last year. You know, it was just like where I beat you and Steven. I shot like shit, by the way, too. Right. You know, but it was terrible.
But it is one of those, like, while I 100% agree with the controversy that's going on around this IPSC thing, apparently this is just a norm for Area 2, which doesn't shock me, and it puts a really bad light on Nils, who I used to consider a decent dude, but like...
Well, and like we don't
put-
know if he's the one setting up because like that weekend stage he was shooting, that stage from what I saw was not one of the diagrams in the
Right,
match
and-
book. So
Right.
and I'm not trying to like randomly stick up for nils or anything. I'm just saying like I don't know who's at fault here. I don't think everybody because I'm sure there's people who just showed up to shoot a match. And they weren't in on let's set up this one and this one and this one and this. Like, those are the people I have a problem with.
Right, but they had 6 people who are in contention for world slots, and I'm like, that's a lot of people to show up to a club match who have contention for
there's
world
also
slots.
a lot of people who live there and
This
compete
is true,
seriously,
But yeah, and so it's a bad look that I'm interested to see what will happen with it, and it does create a larger conversation of that competitive equity and how far does that extend? Because if you want competitive equity, stop putting major matches a month after it defrosts north of the Mason-Dixon line.
I don't have a problem with I would say nationals. Not majors. Anybody can have like South Carolina can have they live in a warm climate. They can have their section in March for I don't care.
Right.
Any major that wants to have a winter match because they live in a place where it doesn't snow 8 feet and gets to 20 below zero, like good on you. Like you live in a place where you can do that.
Right. But the national, you are correct. The nationals is the important part.
But the nationals should not be like that.
Because
I would say no nationals before the 4th of July. Would be a good policy.
I agree. That's definitely a good start. I was talking with Lane today when we were practicing, and he mentioned that last year, him and Tanfo Timmy and some of the other guys that live north of the Mason-Dixon line had to fly to Area 6 and other major matches just to get in like big matches before nationals.
Yeah.
Because like for us, we have our all-class fire match in May, so we'll have April.
Well, the only major around here was Great Plains.
Yeah.
That was it.
Exactly.
Because Cornhusker was after CO Nats, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah, it was either the week after or the week before, I forget. But yeah, it was like, so at most, locally, you could have 2 majors before, and maybe 1 or 2 club matches before the nationals.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not very fair.
No.
So
I 100% agree with you. Okay, now, I want to talk about sillier things.
perfect.
Not quite so serial, Jeff. So last week it was so dumb, but I'm so glad I did it. I shot a Desert Eagle. My buddy Tyler has a Desert Eagle in 50 AE.
Which caliber? Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I'd never shot one before. And this thing it's like if you've never held a Desert Eagle, it's almost like you're holding a fake gun. It's so big, it doesn't feel real.
I thought it was fine.
Well, of course you did, because it's Jeff-sized.
Correct.
It feels to you like a Glock 17 feels to me.
Right. That's what a full-size pistol should feel like.
Yeah. It weighs 5 pounds. Make that 9mm, and good hell, you're really going to see a gun not move.
Dude, triple stack mags. Hell yeah.
I wasn't afraid to recoil. I've been shooting long enough where I was just like, how's this going to go? And the first round went off, and I was just giggling like, wow, that smacked my hand pretty hard when it went off. Like,
did it have a fireball?
No, it didn't. I've seen 44 Magnum Desert Eagles have a giant fireball, though.
Or they have like a ring of fire that like.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, the video I posted on my Instagram didn't show it, and I didn't notice it as I was shooting. There was actually a guy at the other club up here that showed up to a USPSA match with a Desert Eagle in 44 Magnum, and it was a fireball on every single shot, and he DQ'd after like 4 of them. He broke 180 like almost immediately. So, and it wasn't even close. Like, he was a total newbie. He was like, well, it's the only pistol I got. I'm like, really? That's the only pistol you have? Is a Desert Eagle in 44 Magnum? Good
I respect
hell.
that on a deep level.
Oh God, it's commitment for sure.
If you're gonna get a dumb gun, get the dumbest gun.
Oh man, but I mean, it was fun to shoot one after I think I shot 4. I shot a whole magazine, whatever the magazine holds, and that was enough. You know,
yeah.
It was pretty stanky. I'd had enough, and Allegedly, this was some. I don't know who made the factory ammo, and I wouldn't crap on them if I did, but apparently they're a little softer, which didn't help my manhood any when my buddy Tyler said, like, these are a little softer. They don't quite chamber all the way because it doesn't send the slide back far enough to ram the next round home. But yeah, it was not. It was fun to shoot, but it wasn't the most fun thing I've ever shot. To go along with that, though, I saw the most ridiculous Derringer at one of my local gun stores the other day.
Which kind?
It was I don't know who makes it. It's the Derringer you see all over the place, but this one was a single shot in 45-70.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, and the guy at the counter goes, "Here, check this out." And I open it up. I'm like, "What caliber is this?" He goes 45-70. I'm like, "Holy shit!" I look at him like, and he senses my question. We've already sold 5 of them. I'm like, "Oh my god!" People buy dumb guns, but hey, give the people what they want.
Right, capitalism supplies,
Yes.
but Jesus, like, could it shoot 45 Colt?
I have no idea. Probably not.
Because
that's not a rimmed cartridge. The 45-70 is not rimmed, is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is? Okay, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just wondering just because of the 410 45 Colt, because I've seen those, they tend to be the 2-barrel Derringers. They can do 410 shotguns and 45 Colt.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure, but like, Jesus, like, hopefully they shoot some cowboy loads out of that.
Yeah. I hope that's black powder and not smokeless powder going out of that. But anyway,
Oh God.
it seemed like a crazy. And even just to try and the thing is holding the grip to drop the hammer to when I just dry fired it, you had to hold your hand at such a weird angle that when that thing goes off, it is going to destroy your hand. It was like you had to almost hold it at a 45-degree angle down instead of like your hand being right behind a revolver because it's kind of a revolver grip. It's like you have to be kind of up on it to get leverage on the trigger just because the way it was shaped. And it just seems like, oh, God, that would hurt so bad when that thing goes off.
Huh.
But anyway, that was interesting. You shot you shot a match yesterday and then practiced today, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So you shot a match yesterday. What was the match?
It was the Ankeny Carbine Hit Factor match.
Iowa. Like
Ankeny,
Des Moines
Iowa,
area.
yeah. So this is the club that does Iowa sectional. It's Scott Arnberg's main club. So normally they put on a good show, and a buddy of mine, he was going to be shooting the match, and he's going to be moving to a different area here soon. And so I was like, well, let's shoot one more match. And I took my arch nemesis Steven with me, and
his gun worked.
His gun did work, and it worked so well that he defeated me, and it makes me sad. But he's also practiced and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, it was interesting, but I will never go back.
For a rifle match there?
Correct.
Are you sure? Yeah. Like I never say never, because anytime somebody says that, it's like, okay, so they kind of screwed something up and you didn't like it. I get it, but like, I would go. Like, I mean, it's not my main thing anyway, but I would still go back and like give them another chance if it worked out.
This is the first rifle match I've ever traveled for, and it's a 2.5 hour drive, and they start at like 8:30, 9 a.m. So we left my apartment at 6 a.m. And so
that's later than I left for the rifle match in Omaha.
Right. I'm definitely not a morning person, and everyone learns that very quickly. It started with me getting berated for asking if they modified the 180, because so at this club, if they put 2 stages on a bay, sometimes they modify what the 180 is.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because of how you're supposed to move. Well, when they first of all, they took the entire match and walked everyone to each bay.
Oh, God.
And just told you what you were supposed to do.
Oh, no stage brief.
Right. No written stage briefs. So for all you match directors out there, write down your motherfucking stage briefs. So not a good start. And so this one, you started like in the back left corner of like a straight down the pipe type, 3 targets on your right, 3 targets in the front. Not a big deal, but the way he started, it looked like he was looking straight into the berm, and I was like, is this a modified 180? And people are like, oh, the 180 travels with you. And I'm like, I'm the most experienced competitor here. I'm asking a legitimate question, and they did not want to deal with me.
So none of these people were USPSA shooters. They were all 3-gunners?
No, that's the annoying part,
Oh.
is that several of them are USPSA shooters. And so I'm like, you guys modify the 180s every time I'm at this club.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to ask a legitimate question, especially with 14 or 18 new
you
shooters.
You put 12 stages in 5 bays. Like, you have to do that.
Right. And I get why you do it. And so I was just double checking if that
and it's
was
perfectly allowed within the rules to modify the 180.
Correct. So that wasn't, we're not off to a good start because we haven't even started shooting yet.
Now, were you actually berated, or are you just being sensitive?
No, I had several people come up to me and they were very annoyed with me, and I was like, I was just like, one of them, he shot my rifle match, and he knows I was the match director, so anyways, fine.
Okay.
So, stage 1 again was on their like 100-yard bay, and it was very 3-gunner feel.
Uh-huh.
So it had a wall or a roof prop, and a tank trap, and then 4 paper targets. And they had
and a bunch of steel at 100 yards. Hit!
Yes.
Hit!
Yes. They had three steel and you had to take the middle and left from the left, and the middle and the right, and the mid from the right, and the mid, and all 3 of them from the middle. So that screwed with people, and we had one guy who shot the entire match with a 300 blackout.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that was an expensive match for him. He also had to be directed through the match. That was like, he'd basically like shoot a section and look at the RO and say, where should I go next?
It was his first time.
Second match.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't really discuss like the normal operations of a match. Like when we did the walkthrough, it was like me and 3 other USPSA guys doing walkthroughs, and at one point one of the 3-gunners just walks up with his rifle like muzzle up, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm the first shooter. I'm like, we're still walking the stage, and like the concept just didn't seem to make sense to them. But the main reason I will never go back is because of stage 2.
Okay.
They tried to jam every single thing they could into one stage. And so it got so bad that at one point all 4 squads were on the bay.
Oh God, no.
Yes. So to give like an idea of the stage, think of a big T shaped stage. But you started in the front of it, but there was nothing really for you to shoot up front, because about 15 yards in front of the start position was a stomp box to activate a swinger that was several yards down the bay from that. And so you had to retreat up this alleyway, which was terrifying to watch a bunch of people retreat up this alleyway. Lots of new shooters, maybe that was a 180. There was a low port that I had to joke about because the match director and his
normal ports are low ports for you though, so
everyone had to kneel for this one, even the 5'4" match director and his children. But they also added 2 ports that everyone had to basically shoot like up from above their head, like downwards with rifles. It was that was a weird choice.
Yeah.
But one of the other part of it was, so once you finish your retreat, you had to run to the right to engage 1 target at like 50 yards. And you're like, okay, like it might have been better for the hit factor to just not even go over there. I'm not even 100% sure on that.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a fun math problem.
I don't do that math well. But then you had to run to the left, and there was one small gong. That one's fine. Then there were two, like, I don't know, pop can sized targets on chains. And then there was also a clay pigeon that was a no penalty mic somehow. I didn't really understand that, and you could only shoot that from one part of a VTAC barricade type thing. And so, of course, two of our people shot either the bolt or the chain and broke them. And so that slowed everything down.
Yeah.
The targets, again, were at like 50 plus yards into the sun.
A claybird at 50 yards?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
like,
so it was a
claybirds are best for like a 5-yard target.
Correct.
5 to like 25.
Yes. So it was a clay bird, and then the two like pop can size steels.
Jeez.
At 50 yards. Then, once you completed this, you had to run all the way back to the front of the bay, activate the swinger that was separated from your shooting box. So you had to run up, hit it, go back to the shooting box. Then you had a swinger and like 2 targets to finish. So shooting wise, it was it took me 58 seconds. And I was one of the faster people.
And this was the stage that backed all the squads up?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then the to reset the swinger, it was so sensitive that we had to reset it 4 times before, like, and luckily it didn't ever break once we walked away, but getting it reset took us 3 to 5 minutes per shooter. And so yes, it was just this like perplexing, like a bunch of targets that didn't need to be there, a bunch of challenges you didn't need, like it was all of this stuff just one on top of the other, and it was mentioned to them, not by me. One of the actual 3 gunners in our squad was like, yeah, we talked to them about it, and they were like, nope, this is what we're doing. Like, if you don't like it, leave. And I'm like, cool. That's not the mindset I want.
Yeah.
The other stages were fine. Like stage 3, completely reasonable. I didn't shoot it very good, so naturally I don't like it. But like as a shooting challenge, it was perfectly fine.
Do you always dislike stages you shoot poorly?
No, I'm just giving that one shit.
Oh, okay.
I would gladly
because there's a lot of stages I screw up and I love.
The only problem I had with that one really was they made these like really hard lean up front.
Stop! You're 6'9". Leans aren't hard for you.
No, it was everybody else that.
Okay.
Like a bunch of newbies falling out with rifles made my butt pucker many times.
Yeah, the leans. That was the thing. That was like my only gripe at the match at your club was if there's a lean, it's got to be equitable for both sides of the gun.
Right, and so they made it equitable by giving a lean on each side of the wall that was equally as annoying.
Yeah.
And so that one was perfectly fine. 4 and 5, 4 was fine. It was an unloaded bolt closed rifle start, and so that was like as a concept that one was annoying. And then 5, the only problem I had with it was that one. It was just you just ran like straight down this thing, and they had 3 targets in the back on your right side, and then there was 3 targets in the front. And the only problem I really had with it, and there was a required reload, which was fine. I messed both my reloads up, so that made me super happy. It was not left-handed friendly, and so we had 2 dudes that definitely broke the 180 on it, but it was our last stage, and I had given up on carrying by that point.
Yeah.
And so like all they would have had to do is like move the zone back by like 6 feet or whatever, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
or 6 inches, sorry, and it would have been fine. But yeah, this dude 199 degree behind, like gun pointed behind his shoulder, and I was like, okay, that happened. And I talked to him about it, and he was a new guy, so he's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'll watch out. But so yeah, overall, it was just that mindset and the like trying to put 3-gun type stuff into a USPSA match that completely screwed it up for me, that made me, and their lack of like care about it, that made me go, okay, this isn't worth trying to fix.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to come.
Yeah. I never want to be the podcast that, oh, we shot a match. How was it? Oh, the stages were pretty good, and then shit on it for the next 20 minutes. Like, I don't want to be that show, because that's what a lot of shows do is, oh, yeah, it was pretty good. The stages were pretty good. And then they talk about every little thing they want to nitpick and like, I didn't like they put that tag out there. And it's just like stupid minutia that doesn't really matter.
Right.
But like when there's legitimate issues, like one stage that backs up the whole match, yeah, that's a problem.
Right. And there was no like attempt to fix it, which that became annoying.
I'm surprised, and if it's that's the thing though. Like with multi-gun, unless you got guys who sort of like take that over. Like at my club, there's a guy who he shoots our club matches, USPSA, and he's a 3-gunner at heart, but he was like part of putting matches together, and then he started running the multi-gun at our club, and he, the stages aren't perfect, but he'd already learned quite a bit. And, I didn't actually make it to many of the ones that they had, but I did make one of them. And he just asked me, like, what'd you think of the stages? And I was like, oh, they were fine. Like, there's these little tweaks that I would, and I try to remove my personal taste from it. Like, I hate symmetry in stages. I really do. Symmetry, like, symmetrical stages are dumb. I don't like them.
Yes.
Because it's like, I did this on one side, so you only have to learn half the stage.
Yeah.
You can have pseudo symmetry where they're close, but like change some stuff up on one side a little bit. Don't make it identical. It's boring when it's the exact same thing on both sides. And there's just little things that I just suggested, and and he does a good job with it. He comes up with clever stages. And speaking of stages, something we haven't talked about, I'm just gonna like inject this in.
Okay.
The Practice Sim Designer program. I think we mentioned it briefly in one episode, but I didn't talk a lot about it. I've been using that to design stages for Great Plains, and the thing that is the coolest about it that I have found is not just that you have this 3D representation in basically a first-person shooter sort of design thing. You can back out of it. You don't have to stay in that first-person mode, but like you can back away from it and look at it and angles and stuff, and it's really cool. But the coolest thing is I saved this little stage file that's like 50K, 80K, whatever it is, and then I send it to our buddy Bruce out in Rapid and go, hey, what do you think of this? And he opens it in his computer and looks at it, and then he does some stuff to it and sort of some suggestions, and then it'll be like V1, V2, 2.1, 2.2, and
really?
And we go back and forth, and like we have hammered out a couple of stages that are going to be awesome for Great Plains.
That's super cool. One of my questions, okay, going kind of back to one of the things we just talked about, can you send those files as part of the matchbook?
I don't see why you couldn't.
Because
but part of me wants to like leave some mystery,
right?
I'm just going to take the overhead view of the stage, which is still pretty much going to be the stage. Once it's on the ground, even though you can literally lay it out and measure things, it's not going to be exactly the same.
Real life is always going to be a little bit different.
It's going to be closer than 3D Stage Builder, though, for sure, because everything is actually to scale.
Right,
like the walls and targets are the correct scale, whereas 3D Stage Builder, they're not,
Right, and I think that'll be super cool, and I look forward to the use of it, because one of the things that people brought up is like, hey, for the matchbook, it should be like, hey, this stage is this many rounds, here's the start position, here's any weird things about it. done. Like no picture, no nothing, and you just walk up and see it versus going the full other direction, which is like here
and this
is
would
the
be the
3D
full other
layout.
Yes, you can literally walk the stage from your toilet and sit there with your laptop, and if you've got a laptop that can handle a
13
video game,
gigs. Yeah.
then and practice sim, it's not as heavy. It doesn't run as heavy as like a hardcore game.
It's still kind of big, but
it's going to be big for it. It would not run on my old laptop for sure.
Yeah,
like you got to have like a game, at least like a gaming video card on it, probably for it to run well. I did buy like a $1,000 gaming laptop just because I wanted something that would run audio editing and video editing easy, and also and it runs this like a champ. But you do need a little bit higher end computer or a MacBook. They've got it for Mac as well, but it's the thing that, and it is a little, there's a learning curve of it. They do have some documentation. The best way to learn it is to just screw up and find stuff. They've got a big menu when you first open it of like, here's what all the buttons do. And they've got tons of props. They don't have every prop you would ever possibly want, but they got most of them,
Yeah.
It's really cool. But the thing that's the coolest, though, that I found is the ability to collaborate between multiple people on a stage. And there's even some stuff where Bruce and I went back and forth, and I'm like, no, your change is stupid. I'm not doing that.
Right, because that's what the match director's job is like,
right.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. We're not doing that. But it's an interesting idea.
But like the reason he changed it was for one of his personal preferences. Like there was one target where he switched around where I had a paper and a steel next to a wall, and he swapped them because he didn't, in his head, he doesn't want splatter from steel dicking up the wall. And I'm like, I don't give a shit about the wall. I don't want frag from the target or from the popper hitting the paper target. So that's why I had him where I had him. And, so we literally did the same thing, but swap paper and popper for completely different reasons. I mean, similar reasons, honestly, but
yeah.
But no, it was, and there was another stage that he sent me one, and because I told him, hey, bitch, send me a stage. I haven't got any stages from you for Great Plains yet. And so he sends me a stage, and it was, it was a good looking stage, but like, as you kind of look at it, it was like, there's an awful lot of shooting area we don't need here,
Yeah.
like towards the rear. And just sort of like people's idiosyncrasies when they, like, I have a flavor when it comes to stages.
We all do.
Everybody does, and I'm pretty well aware of what my flavor is. I like spots. You have to hit spots as you're moving. Like your footwork's got to be on point, and you're slowing down and stopping in the right spot because there's going to be one alley for a few of these targets, and if you miss them, you're foobar. And I don't like arrays of targets where I very rarely will stack targets.
Right.
It's usually like one or two separate targets. They're going to be different heights and different distances. But if there's two targets like over here, they're going to be pretty different, or at least as different as I can make them given the bay.
For sure.
Or if I don't need to, I'm just going to have one. And I never, ever, there's been times where I get done, I'm like, I only have 18 rounds. I want to add more rounds. No, it's fine. Leave it. Just make it an 18-round stage. Don't add targets for the sake of adding rounds. It's the dumbest reason to add a target.
That was taught to me by the Ankeny IDPA cleanup match, is because they're an IDPA only allows 18 rounds, and so every stage was like 16 to 20 rounds because they might have put an extra USPSA target to add a round count or whatever. It was one of the most fun matches I ever shot. It was done in less than we were done by like 12:30 with 11 stage match, and it was like, oh, you don't need 32 rounds on every stage.
No,
but everyone wants to be the guy that brought you more shooting.
And that's the thing about with Iowa section that they've always had to do is they've had to have short courses on almost every bay with another medium or long course because they just don't have the space for it. But the bays they do have are big, so they've got plenty of space for them. So like I fell in love with short courses after the first time I went to Iowa. I was like, oh, these are fun. Like classifiers aren't necessarily fun where you just stand there and go, ba, 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 reload, ba, 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 ba. That's not necessarily fun. Sometimes it is, but not all the time. But a stage where you like take one step here, shoot some stuff, take 2 steps here, shoot some stuff, done. Like those are pretty fun.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I dig them. But anyway, yeah, Practice Sim Designer, it's pretty cool. I highly recommend. It takes a little getting used to. You'll start learning shortcuts and ways to make things faster. The only gripe I have about it is fault lines are a bitch to deal with. Because you know how big a bitch fault lines are to deal with at a real match?
Yes.
It's kind of the same thing on a computer, you know. Like I have one here, now I got to trying to line it up. If it's oh shit, I moved it a little too much. Like mouse sensitivity, turn it down. Like turn the sensitivity down when you're doing that. But okay, you practiced today.
I did, and
And
I didn't
you
want to.
fell on your ass like you were sliding into second and had never played baseball before.
Yeah, that one, oh God. So I bought cleats because of Andy's match because I rolled my ankle really, really bad. And I thought,
I'm the reason you wear steel baseball cleats?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. Because I rolled my ankle, and so I figured having better traction would be better. I don't know. It was a theory, at least. Well, one of the cleats got caught on the shoelace of the other one, and so I fucking ate it. And I was like, and like I kept the gun pointed in a safe direction
No,
because
it's
I'm a professional.
It's a classic case of here's how you handle the gun when you fall down, kids.
Right.
It's
and
a great example.
And then I continued to sit there, and even Lane, who I was practicing with, was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "My pride hurts a lot," and it did.
And his empathy immediately got put away.
Lane has no empathy for me
Oh,
whatsoever.
he had enough empathy to say, "Are you okay?"
Right.
In the moment.
Right. I think it was more like, do I have to do anything? Do I have to stop? But
The gun didn't go
no,
off. I don't have to do it.
Exactly. But shockingly, fun fact, if you don't practice at all, you don't get better, and you actually tend to get a little bit worse.
This is true. Yeah,
And
you do.
my respect for long targets, like we were shooting mini poppers at like 18 or 20 yards. So like,
Oh, you were disrespecting them.
I would disrespect them, and then I would hit it and be like, hell yeah. And then I'd transition to the paper next to it, and I'd just go blat, and I'd fire 2 at it with no concept of like where like a reasonable split for those. And so like there was one that he like, I know when I have failed when I get done, and I'm like, because what we do is we set up like a mini stage. We'll shoot it 4 times, and then we'll pace it up, and the next person will go. And when I get done with the running, he goes, "Do you actually want to talk about that one?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And like training with Lane is one of the best things that for my shooting that could have ever happened, because like I didn't want to go train this morning. It said it was 40 degrees with 10-mile-an-hour winds and overcasts all day. And I was like, this sounds miserable. I just shot yesterday. Like, I don't actually want to go. And he goes, I texted him. I go, "Hey, it looks like it's going to be shitty." He goes, "Yeah, you better toughen up." I was like, damn it. I was really hoping he'd be like, "Yeah, it does look shitty. Maybe we shouldn't practice." Nope.
And
he
he's
was
only
gonna
got to
be
drive
there.
like 3 times farther than you on top of it, right?
Minor detail. It's like twice, but
Okay.
yes. But yeah, so having him get me there is a net positive, and trying to keep up with him or like him to be there to critique me is great. But sometimes you need a friend to tell you to stop doing stupid shit.
Yeah, that helps.
And my dumbass, we set up several targets that were very close. Like these were burners meant to catch you. Because we have a theory that A and above shooting, most of your misses are going to be on targets 7 yards and in.
Yes.
Because you don't give them the respect they deserve. So we were
Yes.
doing that. Well, at one point, my ass threw an 11 split with my
Whoa.
practice gun, which doesn't have one of my nicer triggers on it. I was like, holy shit! Like I was happy.
Splits get chicks, man. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Lane likes to call me the split monster because like I must split way too hard at all times. And so, but what that did is it encouraged me and kind of motivated me to attack targets way faster than I should have. And every time I got done, I would look at the timer because I don't normally I just look down and be like, oh, that it was in this amount of time, and that was it. Well, I started scrolling through my shots every time, and by the fourth time, he goes, "Stop scrolling. I see the little smile on your face. Stop it."
Quit getting satisfied with yourself.
Correct.
I'm looking at
it was a 13 split that time.
I remember seeing the thing on your story on Instagram, which will be long gone by the time this airs. But I'm looking at shot number 9 was an 11 split, and then shot 11 is a 15 split, which is nothing to sneeze at either.
Right.
Yeah. So you were. Oh wow, Split Monster was out. Indeed.
Split Monster needed to be fed, and sometimes you need someone to sit you down and go, no, we are not doing that. And luckily, because Lane's theory on some practice sessions, you should question whether you should continue the sport. Maybe if you can listen to music leaving that practice session, you didn't train hard enough. And if oncoming traffic doesn't look semi-appetizing, like you ain't going to be somebody. So I don't recommend coming to our training sessions if
I want to go. The thing is, 3's a crowd when you're training, honestly.
So speaking of that,
I would love to practice with you guys, but like 3 is
3 is the most. Now
100%, like absolute max.
With
people who know how to practice.
Correct. I was just about to say, so like technically with 4 tryhards, you can get a good rhythm going.
Yeah,
you got to be careful because the conversation starts and then it goes downhill, whatever. But 3 is optimal because you can have someone shoot, someone's waiting to go next and pace, and then the other person's reloading.
Yep.
And so you always have like constant flow. Now it works best when you have 3 tryhards, but like
4 wouldn't be too bad.
4 tryhards wouldn't be too bad. You add 1 newbie in there, it's going to slow down somewhere.
Yeah.
It just will, and it's not a shot at the newbie. It's just that, like, we look at shit differently. Like, I don't need Lane to diagnose why I did something. He just goes, "You felt that, didn't you?" And I go, "Yeah, I know. I'm going to go cut my wrist in the parking lot."
Yeah.
Whereas maybe a C class, low B class shooter's going to be like, "Why do I keep like missing that?" And you have to sit there and be like, "Okay, well, like you're not sitting and planting for that target. You're not giving it the respect it deserves."
You're trying to keep with the faster guys, and you shouldn't do that. Like, just take the time it takes.
Right. Or we set up an array that is just unreasonable. Like we didn't even think about it until we brought a B class guy out with us, and we set up a small popper at like 22 yards, and it was like our ending thing, and he missed
with
it like
with a tuxedo at 4.
Right. And he missed it like 4 times, and we gave him shit about it. He goes, "I'm a B class shooter. I'm really good at shooting. You two are just the level above me." And we're like, "Oh yeah, that does make sense."
Yeah.
So yeah, try to get reasonable groups together to practice between 2 and 4. 3 is optimal. But someone needs to be there to crush your soul and be like, "You need to be better."
I like the idea of having someone there to crush your soul. But if you're there by yourself, as long as you're able to, I don't know about crush your soul. I don't necessarily like try to beat myself up. I'm kind of Steve Anderson in that way, where if you say I suck, and people just sort of react differently to that sort of, mentality. I tend to, because if I get mad and go off the rails, like I'm useless. Like if it's going bad, I'm not getting anything out of it. It's right. Just, if I let myself get mad about screwing up. I'm fine with screwing up in training because you have to get better. But
Yes.
if I let myself go too far, then it's not useful. So I just I remember hearing shit, I can't think of his name. Wansik, don't criticize, analyze. So I'm just like, what's wrong? Okay, I'm pretty sure this is what's wrong. Like when I was trying to learn how to actually track swingers, last year, because I'd never been able to do it, because I just never pull a swinger out and practice it. And unless you actually practice it, you're not going to learn to track swingers. So I drug a swinger home from the club, and I literally set it up in my garage and dry fired the swinger with a half-size target on it.
That line that you dragged a swinger from the club should be one of the taglines for the episode.
Yes, I drug it behind the car with a Glock just to make sure it would shoot when I got home. Yeah, that's
exactly.
what I did.
But yeah, no, me and Lane have pulled our club swingers out several times and practiced with them, and it definitely makes them less intimidating.
Yeah, 100%. If you can do that, or if your club does a practice day, or if you can get access to it. I know some clubs are very protective of the props. I'm very much not super protective. Like the guys who help out set up matches, I don't care if they pull them out, because they're no one who's a member of my club really listens to this other than the USPSA guys. If you're a USPSA guy, I pretty much, and you're listening to this and you care enough to listen to this, I pretty much trust you to drag them out, because the lock doesn't really work on the trailer anyway. We're getting a new Connex though. We just got budget approved to have one shipped up from. It's cheaper to buy one from Omaha, a used Connex from Omaha, and have it shipped than it is to buy one locally. It's so dumb. But
that's a bad pricing model.
Yeah. I think the ones here are new, though. I think that's the problem.
Gotcha.
So, anyway, moving on. I can't practice. I have a complex tear of the meniscus in my left knee, and I met with the doctor, and yes, surgery is what's happening. Haven't decided. Well, I've pretty much decided, like, there's two options: to either just snip the flap tears that are making all the clickety-clack in my knee. Like, we're good at not clickety-clacking on our show. I don't have a pistol within arm's reach of me right now. But my knee goes clickety-clack just walking around right now. And it hurts if I twist on it at all. Like, if I'm walking and then change direction, that can aggravate it. So I have a feeling the meniscus needs to be stitched back together. But if it doesn't need to be stitched back together, my recovery will be pretty quick. And I might even be able to, Great Plains is probably out of the question, but definitely by Cornhusker, I'd be back in action. If it has to get stitched, I'm in a knee brace for 6 weeks. And like, my USPSA season is kind of FUBAR. Outside of, honestly, like, which is I'm financially okay with, because I dropped $1,400 on that elk application. So in Montana. So if I, that's the thing I'm really worried about, like as far as being able to walk and go up and down mountains and shit. But
kind of important.
Yeah. Like it's, and that would fit within the timeline. Like I should be able to be back to at least like 95% by the time that happens. So, but yeah, it's dude, it's a bummer,
Yeah.
And I can't even stop thinking about shooting like I'm going to have a season. Even though I know it's about 50-50, I'm not.
Right.
And it's so, like, I can't make myself think that. I'm just like, no, it's going to be the lesser of the two evils, because the MRI didn't show him everything, so he's not really going to know exactly how bad it is until he gets in there to look at it. And so I'll find out when I wake up, basically, whenever it happens. And it just sucks. Like, I haven't, even playing sports, when I played football in high school and college, I never had an injury that took me out for more than a game. And it's, oh God, it's going to take me out for most of the year. And it just sucks. You know, it's such a bummer. And, but on the bright side, I'm also dumb as shit. So, So I mentioned a few weeks ago I sent my HoloSun 407C off that I wanted to match last year because it wouldn't turn on. And the thing about HoloSun is they don't tell you what happens unless you actually document what you send them. They don't tell you shit. They send you a shipping label, you send it to them, and then they send it back with absolutely no communication whatsoever that happens. At least that's been my experience after having sent 2 dots in. I got the exact same box and serial number back, and it works now. So I swear I tested the up-down button on the brightness.
Yep.
I swear. But the one thing I didn't check was, did I press the unlock feature and then try to turn it up? You know, you can lock the brightness setting.
Yep.
I never did that. So that must have been what happened, because I tried 2 batteries, including the one that came with it, and then a brand new one I just ordered, and it didn't turn on. So I sent it in for a warranty, and I got it back, and it's the exact same dot. So I'm guessing I'm stupid is my guess. And sorry, HoloSun, my bad.
I've had the same issue with the 407. Like, there have been several times where I'm like, I gotta demount this and send it back in, and blah blah blah, and I'll go back, like, because I'm a procrastinator that never actually accomplishes a task, and then I'll go back and be like, here, let me just test it one more time. Like, oh, the dot's there. Oh, okay, cool. Like, this is fine. Everything's fine. And
it wasn't like I never saw a dot. Not once did I ever see it. The one that they did, they actually replaced it. It was a 507, and the center dot wouldn't stay on. It was dimmer than it should be. It was dimmer than the circle was, and it was very intermittent. It was a come and go sort of problem, and that one they just replaced. Now, I was sneaky and took out like the Picatinny rail mount, and I kept that here when I sent it in, hoping, hey, if they send me a new one, maybe they'll send me one with. No, they didn't. They didn't. I didn't get a second mount, so so I didn't get that. The 407. Wait a minute. Is that another thing you don't get with the 407? Is the Picatinny mount? Oh,
No,
that's the other difference. Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Because it isn't just the dot. It's there's only a slot for the optic, because the other one has a separate slot for the mount. Okay. So that explains a little, because otherwise the optic itself is the same. It's just the different reticle. That's the only difference as far as I can tell.
Yeah, their naming conventions.
Yep.
Just as annoying as SIGs.
Yep. Chinesium. Yeah. Write that on your phone, made in China. Go ahead. Okay. Oh, let's see. There was a really bad DQ that went around Instagram just yesterday, I think it was, which would have been Saturday.
Yesterday or today, yeah.
A guy goes down. Now, of course, like the thing I don't know how big of a douche he was afterwards, because some people have kind of gone after the guy, and he was a little bit douchey afterwards, but it's a pretty bad DQ. So he gets to make ready. I don't know if this is one of the new classifiers. I don't think it is, but
I think it is.
But I mean, he is 100% pointed. He is not at 180. He's at 270.
Yeah, he's perpendicular to the left berm.
Yeah, like
he's staring at that berm with the gun in front of him.
No. His whole body is pointed straight up range.
Oh yeah, he does. He fully.
And the gun is pointed at the RO, and then he like holsters it real quick after the RO like runs for his life and yells stop.
Yep. And
he's like, "What? It was pointed down." Now that's all you actually hear. I don't know how it was at the range itself. Because one of the comments, and the guy who posted this said, what not to do at the range. 1, to flag everybody standing in the back and the RO. 2, tell the RO to, quote, chill. I had the gun pointed at the ground. Not the whole time.
Right.
Not the whole time.
It also doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter for our sport. If it was pointed at the ground and it wasn't, because there is still a difference between this and, because like this is actually unsafe.
Right.
If you break the 180 and it's pointed at the ground, like, yes, you broke the rule, but was it actually unsafe? No.
Right.
But that's the rule for our sport, to make sure that people learn and understand how it's supposed to be.
The last time I DQ'd a guy, he he was coming around a wall and pointed at the ground and then kind of like ran into the wall, turning to his right. So he turned to the left. So he basically did a full 360 with the gun somewhat pointed at the ground. And so like, I was like, I get that you were trying to be safe, but you definitely went across at least my shin.
Yeah.
So like, sorry.
I've never had a 180 that bad that was pointed back at me. I've been there when it happened. Well, I wasn't the RO, but there was one where everybody hit the dirt.
Yep.
And everybody was kind of ready for it because it was a guy who had a reputation, and everybody was like running downrange around the walls outside the shooting area and then cutting back in. And it's a perfect place to point up range. And he sure enough comes around and everybody hits the deck and he sees it and the RO yells stop. And he immediately goes, "No, I did it again."
And to your point, some people did make a bigger thing out of this guy because he was wearing his like training company's shirt.
Yeah.
Like, him and his buddy, and like it's a very bad look for him. Have you ever had I know DQing someone for an unsafe action is bad already, but have you ever had like a negative interaction with the person after you've DQ'd them?
Yes, but I have to accept blame. Because it was partially my fault. The guy still straight up DQ'd. He pulled his gun out and pointed at me. Like,
correct.
But it was on a 2-string classifier, and after the first string, he did not have enough ammo in the gun.
Okay.
Or was it that he holstered it but he didn't load the gun first? That's what it was. It wasn't that. It was he forgot to, like, I said make ready. Well, he was already pointed up range and like ready to go, but he hadn't loaded his gun yet.
Okay.
And I said, "Well, aren't you going to load your gun?" So he pulls his gun out. Well, he's facing me and up range, and I yell stop and move to the side, and he's like, "What? You told me I needed to load my gun." I'm like, okay. And this was like the first year I was a certified RO. It was the year I took the class. And
Yep.
I'm like, I'm sorry, but I know, like, I did a bad job as an RO, but it's still a DQ. Like, you pointed the gun at me and everybody behind me.
Right.
You know?
It is still an expectation that you will do the safe action.
He was pissed, and I felt bad because I knew he was a new shooter. I should have told him, turn around and load your gun because you haven't loaded your gun yet. And I just didn't say that, and I felt terrible. But yeah, and there's only so much hand holding you can do with new people. But yeah, and I've never seen that guy again, and I feel bad about that. And I'm sure he
tends to
blames
be-
me because I was the dick who sent him home. But
Yep. I've never had a bad, like, once I've DQ'd someone, I mean, being a large person, I haven't had I haven't had any issues. Several of my club mates have had people turn around or like have the gun still in their hand, like facing down. They were still
like what are you gonna do about it? Like, seriously.
Yeah, and you're just like, okay. So, and I'm like, nope. So this one is, to anyone who does DQ, it's okay. We don't hate you.
Yeah.
We like it.
I have seen newer ROs who are like they think it's like they're a drill sergeant and it's their job to like chew them out.
I've had older ROs do the same thing. They think it's their job to like make this person feel worse about it. When this person is completely embarrassed enough. I mean, I've seen 2 people almost shoot themselves, and like so I get it. I get that adrenaline rush and that, but like, yeah, it's rough. And sometimes we had one RO that almost punched a guy because he couldn't hear him yell stop. So it was an older guy that started. He was running up range and like reloaded his open gun and ended up pointing it like at the RO, and so the RO was like stop, and like yelling stop, and he's like, if he didn't respond to the last stop, I was about to hit him, and I'm like, that's reasonable.
Yeah, the guy I DQ'd at Cornhusker last year, he reacted poorly, but I didn't really have to defend myself because his whole squad was like, yeah, dude, you totally broke the 180.
It is nice,
and that was the subtler rule on the DQ where his hips were up range when he drew and then pointed straight down range.
Yeah,
if the gun comes out while your hips are up range, it's a DQ. At that moment, you broke 180. So, luckily I didn't have to defend myself, and his squad mates were like, "Dude, you made the right call. That was totally a 180 break, no doubt."
It is nice because like it sucks to be an RO and DQ someone. Like you normally you do feel a little bad about it because you're like, dude, I'm ruining this person's day. But like it's nice when you do get that validation from the rest of the squad. I mean, there have been some controversial DQs that the rest of the squad was like, no, he was 100% right, but like no one told the RO, and so he's just sitting there like, I think I made the right call. Like
Yeah, like, no, it's good to tell officials in any sport if they do a good job, you should go tell them. Like my son's playing basketball, most of the refs are dog shit because it's like YMCA ball and it's a shit show. And most of the refs, they've either been at it a long time and don't give a shit, or they're brand new and think they got to call everything. And when you get the guys that are really good and like get it, and they don't call everything, but they call the stuff they should, and they keep the game moving. Like there were 2 games and 2 different sets of officials after the game. I went over and I was like, hey, you guys did a great job. Way to go. Like, seriously, it was like you kept it moving. You didn't call dumb stuff. It was great. And they were just like, oh, thank you. No one ever does that. I'm like, I know. I used to be a high school football ref. Believe me, I know.
Yes.
So
also along that note, walk up to your stats person or your match director and be like, hey, thanks for putting on the match. Mm-hmm. Nothing else. Just give them a little fist bump and walk away because no one has told them that day.
There's a guy who's a pastry chef in town here who comes to our club matches every once in a while, and he'll bring me a box full of macaroons, and they're awesome, and they're like $3.50 a piece, and they're worth it too. Believe me.
Yeah,
they are worth it. But yeah, and he has a thigh strap, and now it's legal. So, we have a subreddit on Reddit. Not Another Shooting Show. Oh, I forgot to open it. Wait, no, I have it over here. I had it all ready to go. My bad. And had just posted earlier today, like, hey, what should we talk about? And we got one response, and it was actually kind of a interesting thing, sort of, kind of. It was a guy who said, I need to replace my belt. I'd love to hear what y'all run or some recommendations. Well, I have lots of belts. I mostly, like, my regular USPSA gamer belt is just like the standard double alpha belt. It's fine. It does a great job.
I run a CR Speed.
I have an older CR Speed. They're a little floppy. I like the rigidity of the...
I like the floppiness.
Yeah, and that's even with your 80-pound gun. Okay, interesting.
The rigidity of, because I have a double alpha and I also have one of the ratchet belts, I think, somewhere. Is they don't always, like, if you aren't perfectly round, they don't always connect very well to your underbelt. Was my issue with them. So at least that was my experience. The CR Speed ones, they conform to my weird body.
I get what you're talking about. You have to put it on. I do have to put the double alpha on kind of carefully to make sure it's actually hooking up with the underbelt all the way around. I totally get what you mean. Yeah, because it's easy especially like at the first part, I put mine on like first in the front, middle, and then wrap it around. And if you're not like 100% on it, yeah, it won't quite go on. I'm about to buy my son, who's 11, a Lynx belt. And you're like, why are you buying him a Lynx belt? Well, because he's growing, and I can just add links. Yeah, it's more expensive, but I'm not going to waste money on 3 belts.
Right, because they aren't cheap. I've heard mixed reviews of the Lynx. I've had Some people who love them, some people who don't.
I haven't heard anybody who doesn't like them. I've heard lots of people, or not lots, but I've talked to 2 people who absolutely love it. So,
all right, yeah.
And considering he's growing, that's what he's getting, because
That's reasonable.
right now he's got a very floppy, flaccid Midway USA belt. I mean, hey, they're $20-$25. They're cheap, but you're getting what you pay for there. Yeah. I also have I bought last year I got a Blue Alpha light duty belt with the inner belt. That inner belt that came with it is the only inner belt I use now. It is fantastic. It's just basically a web belt where you can actually like pull it back against itself and Velcro it down, and it's pretty much my everyday belt. And I already have it on to dry fire in the morning and whatever. Like it's so much better than the underbelts that come with like Sierra Speed or Double Alpha or honestly any of them. It's just better. I mean, that belt alone, if you just bought that, I think is like $40.
Yep.
But I bought it with their light duty belt, and like those light duty belts, they wouldn't be bad as a USPSA belt, except it's harder to get it in the exact spot you want it. That's the only drawback of those. As far as otherwise using it, I mostly use that belt when I'm teaching, just because I've got a QLS. I can just pop the holster off for whatever gun I want to be using that day, and pop them on and off, and got what I need, and ready to rock. If I could only have one belt, I would get one like that. But for USPSA, I still prefer the competition style belt. It's a little easier to deal with and easier to get like competition mag pouches on for sure.
Yeah.
What mag pouches do you use?
One of the Double Alpha types.
Okay.
I have like 3 different Double Alpha types, but I think I still am using the racers, maybe.
I just have the ghost pouches because they work with everything, and
my chunkiness needed them to be slightly off of my body, and those ones didn't get far enough off my body.
I'm chunkier than you, and they're far enough off my body.
I got bigger hands.
Oh, that actually does make more sense. Okay. We have a Reddit, though. If you follow us on Reddit, we post stuff here from time to time and talk about whatever. And yeah, follow us on Reddit. That's the only way we have to talk back and forth with folks. So there you go. I did have some interactions with some folks. There was a guy who replied about straight-walled cartridges when you were asking about that last week. This guy was from Ohio, and he said, in addition to exceedingly flat terrain, I also have heard that in my state, this is talking about hunting cartridges, like, because rifles are not allowed in some states at all. Like, you have to use slug shotguns. They are straight-walled cartridges for deer population reasons, i.e., by limiting the effective range, you keep more deer alive.
That seems like a very FUD reason.
But
reason.
Something that might have been made sense given the population at the time, because there was a time where if you saw a white-tailed deer that was a buck, it was like a rare thing to see in your life. Like super rare, even if you're like hanging out in the woods all the time.
When I took hunter safety, they said that it used to make the Nebraska papers if a white-tailed buck was seen.
Yeah. He said, I believe we actually upgraded to straight wall cartridges over the last 10-ish years. Used to be just shotguns. He said, I am not a source. I'm spreading rumors. So, and then he also said the fact that we have 4 months of bow season and 9 days of gun further supports the theory. There will also be a week of muzzleloader. Yeah. I mean, most states are like that. Like you get from September to January for archery, and the rest of it is just,
I guess that makes sense. I mean, the nerdy bureaucratic side of my brain is like, isn't that what the number of permits is for?
Yeah, like, exactly. Like that's another way of doing it.
Right. I sold 1,000 tags. I expect 1,000 to be harvested, but I also know from the wolf cull a few months or years ago where they had like 3 wolf tags and then 42 wolves were killed, and they were like, oh, our bad.
Yeah, that sometimes shit happens with ones like that, because a lot of the seasons that have to do with, like, I know, like with mountain lions in South Dakota, as soon as X number of total mountain lions or X number females are killed, season closes.
Right.
Like, it's just done on whatever day that happens to happen, and if it doesn't happen, then it ends on another day. But I also posted this on our Reddit this week, 6 days ago, that when the board meeting was not streamed live, how pissed are you? And we got several comments to that. One said, I'm annoyed, but it doesn't rise to pissed off. I get the sneaking suspicion that more things are being done via back-channel communications now anyway, and we don't get straight answer about A3 until you and Scott both give up or the Super Friends get voted out and fired as appropriate. The one thing about like back-channel communication, like there's no way you could get the board stuff done if people weren't communicating outside of meetings. That has to happen. It can't, like the decisions need to be made in the meeting, but discussion about issues has got to happen outside the meeting, or else nothing's ever going to happen.
Well, maybe we should encourage more back channel conversations so you don't have a 6-hour meeting
or just
that doesn't
read the
accomplish
materials
everything.
that you were given. Another one was just asking why, and it was because they just didn't waive it. Not being transparent makes it very easy to speculate, especially with their history. A little pissed we couldn't watch. Another one said, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Well, if it ruined your day, I don't know. It didn't ruin my day. That's for sure. Let's see. Oh, one more thing. The the controversy with the local shooter instructor company here.
Yes.
What happened? I haven't heard this update. Like we talked about it last week when I made a comment, and then it turned into a challenge, and then I shot a thing, and and he sort of shit talked me after the fact. It looked like.
Yeah. So I accepted the challenge. Because I'm a dick. And
I just went and shot it on my own and was like, yeah, okay, you're technically right, but it doesn't matter.
No, he wasn't technically right. Well, okay.
Well,
so
no,
he
the
was
groups were better with the same cases in factory ammo. Like the groups were better. Were they better enough to be ineffective or to be more effective?
If you shot it at 40 yards, which is like the
40 is
mechanical
like
accuracy
stupid.
of the gun, and so today my buddy Lane, we were training, and he was like, well, so this company has a bad reputation to begin with amongst like the Omaha crew. They stole one of our guys' TACMed class and just teach it, like use his slides from his PowerPoint and teach it. And then Lane is ultra motivated because he tried to teach a CCW class up in their area, and they messaged everyone who responded to his like Facebook group that he was going to put this, and offered the class at like half price or something like that.
Oh my God.
So he was extra motivated.
Do they have anyone to teach what he teaches?
This was back when it was just like a CCW class,
but like, not the combatives.
But these are dudes that like they claim to be dudes that have done some stuff.
Yeah.
And when I asked what that stuff was, I didn't get a response.
Yeah.
But I was like,
with real world experience.
Yeah, we got real world experience, and I'm like,
hey Lane, you got real world experience?
Right. And so like he was informing me that one of them used to be like an artillery man or something like that, and he teaches CQB now. So, you know, real fucking trustworthy here.
I know a guy who used to work in artillery as well, and he does not teach CQB. But I mean, he teaches concealed carry classes, but like he's not like all
right.
Mr. CQB.
So one of the things
he does need the beep really close to his ear when he starts shooting a stage.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's see. You're welcome to come try it. Let me set the stage for you right now so you're not walking into any surprises. You are shooting at an FBI silhouette at 40 meters. I thought this was America.
Meters, yeah. Because the military uses meters.
Exactly. With random ammo loaded into one magazine and ballistically consistent ammo loaded into the next. You won't get to know which mag you are shooting. Then we measure the groups, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, sure, sounds good to me. I use my gun. I can supply the cheapest reloads possible to keep it fun. Like, us USPSA shooters, we do not check the quality of our
QC
ammo.
is especially. I mean, there's a lot of people that for the longest time I used the same ammo for practice and matches. Like I didn't distinguish between the two, except I might run the match ammo through a hundo. Like that's the only difference.
Exactly. We buy everything in bulk.
Yeah.
At the cheapest price possible.
Yeah.
And I said, sure, sounds good. I'll use my gun. Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you should absolutely use your gun as long as it's an open sight with not some competition shooting gun. This dude who this whole post was about was shooting a subcompact everyday carry gun. Let's try to keep it as close to what he was in with as possible. You're welcome to bring your random ammo, but we've got plenty of Skittles. And I went, if your concept is correct, it shouldn't matter what gun I'm using.
Right. The gun is irrelevant.
The gun is irrelevant because all we were commenting on was the teaching element of it. And so to have obviously a newest shooter shooting a subcompact gun at 40 meters, you're not going to learn anything from that because you aren't the mechanical accuracy of that firearm.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about the ammo. Let's not talk about the shooter. You're just the mechanical accuracy of that firearm. Like a Shadow 2 is like a 3-inch group, hopefully at 25 yards. So at 40 yards.
Yeah, if you're not screwing it up, that's going to shoot that good at least.
Right, exactly. So Lane, being the lovely individual he is, he ended practice. We only did a 25-yard group because that's a reasonable distance to do pistol stuff at.
Yeah.
He did it from a bag with a red dot because it's 2024 and that the sighting system shouldn't matter for this. And he shot, I would say, a Coke can lid size group, like 2-3 inch diameter group at 25 yards, which is probably the mechanical accuracy.
Yeah.
He used his random blue bullets, and if you think our QC is bad, Lane's is an extra level of didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's broken more presses than anyone I know. I think he's on his 4th.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, he breaks them a lot. So like his QC of his ammunition is low. And so he mixed that with Supervel, which is already a commercial remanufactured ammo by itself.
It's already mixed brass.
It's already mixed brass. He shot 8 rounds in the size of the top of a pop can at 25 yards. I don't think the mixed ammo means anything.
No.
But anyone
I did mine with gold dots and it mattered with mine. Like I mean my factory ammo groups were smaller than the reloads.
Right, but the planet's a line for that one because like
the freehand one, like I shot the greatest group I'll probably ever shoot in my life outside of the flyer. It was under 2 inches except for the flyer that was like another 2 inches away. But
right, like you were above the manufacturer's.
Like Spear's not expecting that.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
especially out of a Glock 34.
Yeah. So, what this tells us is vet your instructors. And
how do you there's no way to do that, honestly. Like when you're signing up for a class, just think of when you knew nothing. Like, how do you do that? You don't know. You don't know who is a dumbass and who's not.
You're not wrong. I get it. I wish there was a better standard, but I'm in the martial arts world, and someone asked me like, "Oh, who are you guys certified through?" I'm like, "There's no certification."
Yeah.
Like,
the one thing this whole thing taught me though is like, at one point I was like, God, Staker and Prank are like shitting on some guy again. What? Like, okay, now I get it.
Yes.
Now I completely understand why they shit on other instructors, because it's really frustrating when you see somebody saying stupid shit that is not real and like it matters, and you're somebody who does teach. Now, I'm not comparing myself to Ben and Matt, like, obviously. I'm just saying, like, I'm a local concealed carry instructor just like these yahoos, and they're saying, well, your ammunition is terrible. That's why you're not hitting anything. It's like, maybe his fundamentals suck.
Yes, or maybe you've given them an unreasonable challenge.
Yeah, 40 yards. Like, I've never asked a student to shoot at 40 yards ever, unless it was with a rifle.
Right. And
So
here's what I'll end it with. This was his ending line to me. Lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. Have a great day.
are you gonna go? You have to go. Because when you get off the bus, that's the moment I want to see. I want to see the Jeff getting off the bus moment. Like when you're in high school and you're playing this football team and, like the other team looks good getting off the bus, but then you play them and they suck ass and you beat the shit out of them. Like, I still want to see that moment, though, when you're getting off the bus like,
I asked
or getting
them
out of your subcompact car.
I asked them to come to your match because it's closer to me. Or, well, I'm going to be there. They were
whining
anyways.
about competition. No, we're not asking you to shoot the match. Just come to the range.
Right. I was just
like, meet us halfway.
Right. I just told him, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to stack events here so that I don't have to drive 2.5 hours to you and back. And he's like, I'm not blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and then I may have asked him some of the things Lane said, and then he didn't want to respond anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't, but yes, I 100% also want to show up because most people want to talk a lot of shit until there's the 6'9" dude standing in front of them going, hello.
I that's why I just shot the groups, because I wanted this out of my life. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. Anyway, thank you so much for downloading and listening. MW Activewear, we forgot to mention, did more district logos, by the way. She did
those are
District 2, District 4, and District 5? Or no, 8. 8 was the other one.
Yeah, because they're the coal miners, and then the District 6 has the crawfish, and then we have corn, and District 2 I think had a cactus.
Although she did briefly have corn on 4, which was kind of funny. So the MW Activewear, on the show notes of this podcast, you can find a link to her Instagram. That's the best way to get a hold of Michelle and order up your jerseys for the season or for your match. They are top notch. You will not be unhappy with them. I'm going to say I guarantee it, but the guarantee doesn't really mean anything. I'm just saying you're really going to like them. So anyway, he's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.